welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel Engelbarts if you're new here, and I post everything that I love on this channel. We also have a family vlogging channel where we film the daily lives of us and our 3 kids that are under the age of 3, only for another month though, because the twins will be turning 3 on January 2nd. Their names are Bear and Lyndall. We have boy-girl twins that we conceived through IVF, in vitro fertilization, 3 years and 8 months ago. And is that right? That mental math is hard. And then we have baby Eloise, who came by surprise. She was born in September of 2019, and she is a joy and such a huge blessing to us. She was a total surprise natural conception after doing IVF. So total shock to our family, but we are adjusting and it's really fun. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. And like I said, this channel, I like to do things that I love to do. So decorations and like reimagining spaces in my home and DIYing projects and cooking, cleaning, stuff like that. So that's what you will find on this channel. If that interests you, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. The thumbs up button is really supportive of my channel, so you can hit that if you want to, and that will just help me in the YouTube algorithm. Today's video is a gift guide for babies and toddlers, and I spent a lot of time putting this together, so I really hope you enjoy it. I really hope it inspires you to maybe think outside the box this year when you are purchasing gifts for the little ones in your life. I decided to do a gift guide for each category and separate them out, just because for one, it splits my work up into chunks instead of having to come up with the entire list all at once. For two, I already started filming the video with the exhaustive list, and since I filmed that video, I've kind of changed my mind on some items, and the audio was horrible. I don't know what happened. That reminds me, I did not bring my little external mic for this, so I'm sorry if the audio is not ideal. I forgot the mic, but it was the mic's fault that the last video was totally horrible. Like, the audio was crackly, and I don't think I had it plugged in all the way, and so I am now having to go back and refilm it, which is not ideal, but here we are. So today's video is just going to be for like babies and toddlers. These are actual items that I am getting for my children this year. Well, 2 of them are actual items I'm getting this year that I have ordered and have not yet received. So I can't physically show you those items yet because I don't have them. It's going to be interesting with shipping time and everything this year on getting stuff on time, and I don't know, it's just going to be interesting. So I want to share this list with you because I really tried to think outside of Amazon and Target and Walmart. I tried to like go small and medium-ish businesses, but the first couple things I'm going to mention are not even purchasing from like an actual business. So I'm going to start with the best way to help this planet is to reduce, reuse, recycle, and I've been on a mission this year to try to put more of an emphasis of that in our lives and to try to, I know we are not by any means minimal, but try to be more minimal or more mindful of what we're consuming and things that we're purchasing. If I have time to look for a used option, I always try to do that first. So when you're purchasing gifts for your kids, you can do the same thing. You can go to secondhand websites, actually secondhand stores pre-COVID. It might be hard to do that now. I don't know if everybody has that option, but there are secondhand websites, and one of my favorites for toys and items and furniture and things like that is called Mercari. I will leave a link for it in the description box below. It's a fabulous website for buying things secondhand. My mom used it to purchase Lyndall her first American Girl baby, and it was a fraction of the price, and she's already got it and it's in perfect condition almost. So it's a great option if you're, if you have a budget that you're working with that you can't afford, a full-blown American Girl doll, you can maybe find one that's more affordable on there that's very gently loved already, and you're helping the planet also. So first piece of advice is, if that works for you, go to someplace like Mercari or a secondhand store. I sounded like I said secondhand store. And purchase something secondhand if you can find what you're looking for. You can also purchase clothes that way. So ThredUp is one that we use all the time for our family, and this is not sponsored. I mean, we've been using ThredUp since before the babies were born, so that's almost 3 years now. So if you are getting your kid clothes for Christmas, which I know is kind of a drab thing to get a kid, but Lyndall actually loves clothes, and so that would be a great gift for her, then you can purchase them on ThredUp. If you know you want them to have like a white fuzzy vest or something, you can literally search white fuzzy vest in your kid's size and there will probably be like 7 different ones to choose from. So I really love that website for things like that. And then number 3, don't be afraid to hand down toys. So last year Eloise was 3 months old at Christmas. She's not gonna unwrap a gift. She's not gonna remember. And beyond that, like, we had fabulous toys that the twins did not play with anymore because they had aged out of those items, and we still had them. So I wrapped some of those for her, and like, that was her presents. Of course we're gonna wrap them and have presents under the tree for a 3-month-old. Maybe that's not an of course thing. I don't know. Let me know if you guys, if you have like a few-month-old baby, if you're actually wrapping and putting gifts under the tree for them. I feel like we did it more for like Bear and Lyndall to see that Eloise gets gifts too. Because actually, now that I think about it, even the twins' first Christmas, which they were 11 months old for that, they were almost a year old, we got them this thing. It's like an activity center, and this was the only thing they got for Christmas from us that year. Like, we just had it in the middle of the room. So I guess for their first Christmas, we did not wrap anything for them. And it's totally fine. Like I said, there's pictures and videos to look back on, but kids that age do not care what's under the Christmas tree. They don't even really understand what's going on. This is probably the first year that Bear and Lyndall are really gonna get it. Okay, so hand-me-downs, the point of all of that, hand-me-downs are okay, and it's not a bad thing to just wrap hand-me-downs and give those to your really, really young kids that were passed down from your older kids. Maybe people disagree with that. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of benefit to doing that. It's much more budget friendly. It's much better for the planet. It's a lot easier. You're having to spend less time thinking about and purchasing gifts for another kid when you can just hand them down. Birthdays, probably a different story, especially when they start understanding like that they're receiving gifts. I don't know. Now that I'm like talking about it, maybe I'm second guessing that thought process, but you guys will have to let me know how you feel about hand-me-downs for gifts of like under age 1 kids. Of course, when they're like 2 or 3, you wouldn't want to just wrap up like the 5 or 6-year-olds gifts and hand it down, because it's probably a toy they've already seen in action. So that's probably not a great idea. Anyway, moving on. This is my first actual item. If you do not have a hand-me-down and you don't want to purchase secondhand, the first item that I have that I'm recommending, and this is based on a lot of reviews that I've read and a lot of people that I know personally that have received these as gifts. I don't personally have one, but I plan on getting one, and it's the Cuddle and Kind doll. And anything I can find a link for, I'll put it in the description box below so that you can just go right to the item if you need to. But this is a really cool concept. They're a hand knitted doll, and I'll insert a picture right here. This one's actually named Eloise, which I thought was cute. They have all different animals and they all have a name and they all have a little story that goes along with them. But these are handmade, and it's a family that decided they wanted to do something to give back and to feed children. And so each doll that is purchased, 10 meals are donated to feed children that may not otherwise have food. And I think that's really awesome. Cool concept. It's a handmade item. It's sustainably, ethically sourced, and an amazing gift. I think the theme I'm going for this year is quality over quantity too. So this doll is on the expensive end for dolls, but if you go for quality over quantity, you're only going to be giving your child a couple of things. We don't go overboard on gifts, and I will share in a different video all of the gifts that we're getting for each of our kids individually, even though I'm going to hit on a couple of them here. I'm not going to mention all of them, but I'll kind of explain how we go about gift giving and why we don't emphasize tons of gifts. And so therefore we go with more quality items, and that's basically what I've chosen for this list too, because that's just kind of the philosophy we have. The next thing is Lovevery. You guys know we love Lovevery. We started using it with Eloise when she was about 4 months old, and we love it. They have different kits that have several toys within them, and they can cater to your kids' development at whatever age they are. So you purchase a kit based on the child's age and kind of interests, and then you can subscribe and have them continue to come every few months, and you can choose if you just want one kit, you can do that as well. But they're fabulous. It is a very like thoughtful gift that you can give to somebody if you have grandkids or nieces or nephews that are within like the 0 to 4 age range. These would make a fabulous gift, and they're just really well made, ethical, sustainably sourced, organic cottons, a lot of wood, not a lot of plastic. They're just really cool gifts and really well made. And I honestly attribute Eloise's like hand-eye coordination being so good for her age. Like, she can literally take a fork, stab a piece of food, and put it in her mouth. There was no way Baron Lyndall could do that at her age. And I attribute it to Lovevery. Like, she's learning stuff as she's playing with these toys, and they're developed by a lot of experts in children and development, and so they cater each of the toys to what that child is learning at that stage. So we're a huge fan of Lovevery. The next 2 items I found on the same website, and these are so cute, and the website is really cool too. It's called Masonette, I think, and I may be mispronouncing that, but I really liked the chicken coop and Noah's Ark, so I will link those up here. The chicken coop had a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, it doesn't have a ton of pieces. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine, is a toy that has tons and tons of little pieces in it, because they just end up everywhere and not functioning. I hope you guys can't hear my kids in the background yelling. So it has like an appropriate number of little pieces to it, but they're all made out of wood, and it's really cute. And I think Eloise would really love this because she loves animals. So they have different things that you could cater to like what your kid enjoys. The Noah's Ark one I think is really cool, because then you could teach about that story in the Bible while they're playing with it, and it just brings on a whole new meaning and kind of brings that story to life. Thought that was really neat too, and they're just really pretty toys. They're not gonna look silly sitting on your shelf. Not that like a toy room should look beautiful, but it's just, they're not gonna be an eyesore. They're really pretty, well-made toys. This is what we're getting Eloise for Christmas. This is her big gift. It's called a Pickler Triangle. I almost got one of these back when Lyndall and Bear were maybe even a little bit younger than Eloise, because Lyndall loved to climb on things, and these are amazing for that. They're so cool. So the one we're getting her has 3 parts. It has one part that's curved, one part that comes to a point, and then kind of a board that you can put between them. You can stack it up high, so it could be like a rock wall. There's so many different things you can do with this. Plus, the Archie thing won't, but the triangle part can fold up and you can put it away. But again, it's like a pretty piece that you can have. It's like a work of art. You don't necessarily have to put it away when they're done playing with it. I'm really excited to get this. It hasn't come in yet, and I've ordered it probably a few weeks ago, so if you're thinking about maybe getting it, I would order it ASAP. They have tons of different versions of it on Etsy, and it looks like they're all handmade, so I love that too. Really cool item for like a crawler climber type person, type baby kid, which all 3 of mine are going to be all over this. I know it. It's going to be a hit for all of them for sure. The next item is a walker toy. This is also something that Bear and Lyndall love still. So we got the like shiny noisy plastic toy one back when Bear and Lyndall were young, before they could even walk, and I wish I had gotten this one instead. This one is so much prettier. Not that like really matters, but it's also more sustainably made because it has mostly wood parts, and it has some educational stuff on it. So you can learn about numbers, you can like do hand-eye coordination type stuff. It's just really neat. I made a few notes here because I'm not looking right at it. Oh, it has shapes on it, and then obviously it can help with walking because you can stand up and push it. So that's really cool. And then it has no phthalates, however you say that. And what is that even anyway? Like, why is everybody so proud that their item doesn't have a phthalate? It kind of reminds me of the meme where the guy went to Starbucks and he said, "My name is Steven," with a PH, and they spelled it PHTEVEN. Steven. So anyway, that's it's so hilarious. But it doesn't have phthalates, which is great. And I know that they'll play with it for years and years to come, because my twins constantly fight over Eloise's little walker thing. and they're 3, almost 3. This is what we are getting Bear for Christmas. This is a train set, and it's all made out of wood. It's really cool looking, and you can kind of redirect and rearrange the track and do whatever you want with it. Make it like a city on one side and a country on the other, or whatever. It's really cool. It has great reviews. It's been around forever and ever and ever, like this particular brand, and you can find them on a bunch of different websites, but I've linked it for you below. It is a pricier train set, but I feel like it would last generation after generation. A lot of these toys kind of fit that category where you can hand it down generation after generation, which I love. And I think he's gonna be really excited. I did kind of redo a little table into a train table or car table. So I think what I'm gonna do is bring that out and then set the train up under the Christmas tree or next to the Christmas tree on Christmas morning, and he's gonna go crazy. Okay, the last thing on my list is books. And I know some people are like, oh my gosh, books. No kid wants to get a book for Christmas, but I promise they do. Oh my gosh, my kids love books. And Usborne Books in particular. I love Usborne Books probably more than they do, and they love them a lot. I want to show you guys a couple, let's see. I'll show you guys just a couple of our favorites just to kind of illustrate how cool these books are. If you watch our regular vlog, you've probably seen Bear's At the Garage Shine a Light book. So this one's very similar. This one's Secrets of the Seashore. And what's neat about these is you can use a flashlight to look inside different things and behind walls and underneath things. So I can probably demonstrate it. You can kind of see there in this little tide pool or whatever they want to call it. You look inside by shining the flashlight underneath, and you can see all of like the mussels and clams and stuff in there. And this one has an anemone, a bunch of anemones, and all kinds of stuff. So that, whatever's right there, shows through on the page when you shine a flashlight behind it. That's the Shine a Light books. There's a whole series of different topics of Shine a Light books. This one is really fun. Lyndall was obsessed with this one when she was probably 10 months old, but it's called Are You There, Little Reindeer? And in the book you go throughout and try to find the reindeer, and there's all kinds of like little holes, and they call them finger trails, but basically it has like a track on the page that they can trace with their finger, and it's a little groove where you can feel it. So that's really cool. And then at the end they end up finding the reindeer sleeping behind the Christmas tree. That one's really fun. The peek inside books are cool because they have all kinds of flaps. Each page has multiple flaps on it, and they get to just discover all kinds of cool things. Plus the flaps are pretty sturdy, so if you have like a really aggressive flap lifter, you don't have to worry about it. They also have books that have felt flaps for really young ones that like don't have any self-control and just want to rip a flap. One of them's called Goodnight Owl, and one of them's Goodnight Chameleon, I think, and those are great. This one's the Four Seasons book. I like this one because the sounds that it makes are like very soothing. So it talks you through like each of the 4 seasons, and each page has a different song that it plays, which is cool. There's a bunch of different ones of these too. There's like a garden one that we have, and then there's also one that is like a quiet time bedtime story, so it plays like very soothing classical music basically as well. So that's kind of what the books are like. And oh, here's a very good, our very first finger trail book with cats and dogs. This one we actually have ripped a bunch of the flaps. That one's hanging by a thread. One of the flaps in here we ripped completely off. This one used to have a flap on it. But what's cool is if you do rip the flaps, then you can replace the book for 50% off, so that's awesome. And they also have That's Not My series, where all of the pages have a different thing that you can feel. This one's scratchy. So these are really great books. They make great gifts, and they get little kids excited about reading. So if you have like a toddler or a baby, or in between a baby and a toddler thing like Eloise's, then maybe try some of these books if you don't want to get them just another toy for Christmas. That is my list of Christmas recommendations for babies and toddlers. I feel like this is a category I am intimately aware of and in tune with because I have babies and toddlers. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. And if you like these books, but you are overwhelmed by the catalog of books, there's over 2,000 titles, so I get it. Let me know and I can kind of guide you to what books based on your kids' interests. So just let me know. Feel free to reach out to me, leave a comment below, whatever. And I will see you in our next video.